CS is a mode of delivery, just like vaginal delivery is a mode of delivery. In this particular episode of Nursing with Abby, I'm going to be explaining what CS actually means, the indications for CS, why the complications that could result, and what to do to prepare if there's need for cesarean section for that pregnancy. People, you're welcome to another episode of Nursing with Abby. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me on this channel. And if today is your first time of watching me on Nursing with Abby, you are welcome. My name is Nurse Abiodun. I'm a nurse, I'm a midwife, I'm a public health advocate, and I love what I do. On this channel, on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page, I talk about nursing, I talk about lifestyle, and I talk about everything in between. Now today, I'm going to be talking about cesarean section, and I'm going to be giving us into layman terms as to what cesarean section is, why it is being done, what should be done, complications that will arise, and some other lots more information will be shared on this particular platform. So yes, cesarean section is just there's no need to cram too much. It's just a way of delivering your baby instead of through your vagina, through the abdomen. But it's not something you can do for yourself. It's what a doctor or an obstetrician, a licensed or trained obstetrician can do for you in the presence of the anesthetics and the surgery and all that. Now, all those things is needed to ensure that there is prevention of transmission of germs or infection into your body system, and that's why they clean you up, they stitch you up, they use some different surgical procedures on you and all that. Now, cesarean section is not a death sentence. It is not a taboo. A lot of people still believe that anybody that does cesarean section is less of a woman or less of a mother. That is false. That is completely false. You are a mother. You have carried the pregnancy for 9 months and you own that baby. That your baby is yours, no matter the mode of delivery. So it is important for us to know that cesarean section can be caused by, but can be indicated or can be advised for a lot of reasons. So my own reason might not be your own reason. My reason, some people's reason might be because the baby is too big to pass through. But for others, it could be maternal conditions like hypertension, diabetes, sickle cell anemia that the mother has that cannot allow her to go through the stress of labor. You could also have cases of multiple pregnancy where you have 2, 3, 4 babies inside the woman. She might not be able to deliver them all by herself, so she might need to go through cesarean section. We could also have cases where the baby's breathing is already adversely affected, the baby is not breathing well, and they might need to bring out the baby to resuscitate on time. We could also have cases of what we call genital warts. This also has been an indication for CS because it's an infection at the perineum, and if the baby passes through that particular perineum, it could cause systemic infection to that child. Blindness, brain injury and all that. Now, it could also be due to prolonged labor. Now, when you say prolonged labor, that means that the woman has been going through a long time of trying to deliver the baby, but unfortunately, he's not been able to. So, to prevent the baby from actually, dying inside of her, you take the woman to the theater and then they get the baby out, and the mother and the babies are safe. We could also have cases of prematurity. For cases of babies who are just too small to go through the stress of labor, they might need to, go through CS. Also, failed induction is one of the major reasons for cesarean section. Maybe the woman is postdated or postterm, and they induced her. That means they tried to start the labor, and the labor did not progress as it should. To prevent the baby from being too tired and exhausted inside, they can opt for cesarean section. Even a woman who is going through normal labor and she's too exhausted due to the labor, she could request for cesarean section. Also, you could have a woman who's had 2, 3, 4 cesarean sections before. It's advisable for her not to try vaginal delivery because of the scars on her abdomen and for her to just go through an elective CS. So these are the various reasons that CS is indicated. But for whatever reason the CS is being indicated, it's your right to know. And it's your right to discuss with the obstetrician or the healthcare professionals so that you guys can sit on the round table and your consent is received. You are the woman, you are the mother. Your body is the one being incised. So you should also give the consent. We also have cases of women who are actually unconscious, maybe due to eclampsia, and they need to take the person in. So there could be a relative or family member that was standing in that particular situation. But when you are alive and conscious, your consent is needed for CS to be done. Now, what could happen if a woman refuses the CS? Because we've had cases of women who say, no, the God of this and that will refuse me doing CS. This has happened to somebody before she delivered herself. Now, like I say, different strokes for different folks. Now, if you have somebody who's actually had vaginal delivery before, maybe while they've already prepared or booked for CS, it's possible. Nothing is impossible. But it's important for us to know that time and tide waits for no man. And the baby inside is just a split of a second between life and death for that baby. So it's important that we all prepare our mind. We call it complication readiness. Labor preparedness and complication readiness, and that means that everybody wants to deliver normally, but in case that we need to decide to save the mother and the baby through CS, be ready for it, so that it won't come to an extent of, I know a case of a woman who refused CS because the baby was just too big to pass through. Now, she went home, went to different churches, went to different, received so much anointing oil or whatever, and by the time she came back, she was already exhausted to the point of almost getting into a coma, and all she asked for was just to please remove this thing inside of me, please remove it. And by the time we checked the baby's breathing, the baby was no longer breathing because the baby was already too tired, was already distressed, and the baby unfortunately had died inside of her. Now, there was no how we could get that baby out because it was still too big to pass through. They had to take her in for surgery to get out the dead baby. And the complication that arose by the reason of her spending days, they were concocting so many things, putting inside of her. She became, septic. That means that she acquired a lot of infections due to that. And, our reproductive system was definitely not the same again. We were able to save her life, but it took months for her to recover. Over what? A dead baby. So if she had done the CS, she could have had a clean surgery. She could have had a baby alive. She will also be alive and in a clean state of health. So why go through all that stress when the final thing, CS was already done, but the baby was not alive? Thank God we were able to save her, and I hope this would help somebody. Now, in cases that CS is indicated, what exactly should you do as a pregnant woman? Like I always say in antenatal, always prepare. Prepare yourself physically, emotionally, financially, because for a lot of people in Nigeria, cesarean section is definitely more expensive than vaginal delivery. So prepare yourself. Make yourself at least financially ready for any mode of delivery. Remember, you are the one carrying the pregnancy. Your baby, it's your body. Even if it means having to go and make some crowdfunding and prepare yourself. If you deliver normally, then the money is yours. If you need to deliver through cesarean section, you need to get the money out and sort it out. I've seen cases of men who, because their wives had to go through CS or had multiple pregnancies or deliveries, they ran away because they were not the ones carrying the pregnancy. Now, in such cases, the woman has to be financially prepared, and she should also be able to accept herself that, please, if need be for CS, I'm ready. Let me save myself and that of my baby. I've had cases of people, because their husband said no, they also said no, and unfortunately they lost the baby. Within 1 month, another woman is inside the house. So why having to go through all that stress? Now, you have to ensure that during antenatal you eat a lot of balanced diets. That will help your body system to develop enough immunity. It will make your body tissues to be strong enough so that by the time maybe the CS is indicated and then you go through the surgery, you'll be able to heal better and faster. And then mobility is also encouraged for a lot of women, both in pregnancy and even after delivery. Mobility also helps you to be able to get your tissues and your body system in good condition in case of maybe cesarean section and all that. Also, regular antenatal, that is non-negotiable. You have to make sure that you keep your antenatal appointment, because sometimes some of these conditions are detected on antenatal. And it would be a good thing for you to be able to know what exactly is the problem and how you can really deal with the situation on ground before it escalates to something more difficult. So I think with this, we've been able to explain some things about cesarean section, the myths and the misconceptions about it. But I'm going to talk about the myths and the misconception tomorrow through a letter sent by Madam NK. Now, Madam NK is a woman who believes that a woman who does cesarean section is a weak woman. So tomorrow, join me, because I'm going to be trashing out Madam NK's letter, and I'm going to be I'm going to be ruling out those myths and misconceptions. We really need to do that as Africans. especially Nigerians. Alright, my people, that's what I have for you on Nursing with Abby today about cesarean section. If you have more comments concerning this, you have a question about this, if you're involved in you've been involved in cesarean section, how long it took you to recover, the scars that we have to show is they're not scars of shame, they're not scars of condemnation, they are scars showing bouts of love for our babies. They are scars showing our selflessness and sacrifice to motherhood. So carry your scar with pride. It's so beautiful because you have something to show for it. And for those who have nothing to show for it, I am so sorry. But it actually shows the strength of a woman. And all women need to be celebrated. Both normal delivery, vaginal delivery, cesarean section, women are the bomb. They all need to be celebrated, not only on Mother's Day, every time. Because the stress of carrying a pregnancy for 9 months, no be joke. Even the day of delivery, it's as if it's either your life or that of the baby. And wonderfully, the day the baby comes, another bout of work starts. When you do sleepless night, you carry the baby, breastfeed, take care of the baby and groom the baby and nurture the baby to maturity. Kudos to all mothers. Thank you so much for watching on Nursing with Abby today. Till I see you in my next episode. Bye for now.